put you on in the waiting room until you're up?
That's fine. Do you have any idea roughly how long that might be?
I don't. Is it 108 Pines Bridge Road?
Yes.
Okay, so you're fourth on the list, and we're going to start right now with the first application.
Let's just leave my computer on then.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Okay, you're all set.
Okay, you're gonna post the drawings and
Sure.
photos, Daisy, or? is he
Yeah.
gonna-
Carrie's going to do that now, and Rob will. Rob walked away.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, you have them there?
Yeah, I see them.
Yep.
Okay, just let me know where you would like me to go
Page
on.
A7.
Are you the architect or the
No,
applicant?
I'm the owner moving into the house.
So he's a return. He came on the 15th. We had him add some windows to the left side elevation. He also had some changes to the right elevation by the pantry and by the dining room. I don't know if you
Mhm.
remember this. Stanley was also in on the meeting and had,
Can
So
we
Yeah.
see-
Did
can
you have
we
less
see both
windows? I
people?
can't remember if I was on this.
Yeah, can we see the last one and compare it to this one, so where we can?
can I, would you see my arrow or no?
I
No.
see somebody's arrow.
no, we see Carrie's
So,
arrow.
okay, if you go, I'll tell you exactly what we changed. So the left elevation, there was one window there. You see where the arrow's pointing?
Mhm.
We added the 3 to match.
Oh, I remember that. You just had one, right? Okay.
Right, okay. And
Yeah, I
then,
think
what we-
you had less windows.
right, and then on the other side, on the right elevation, we added 3 windows there. We added the top one there, the bedroom, the dining room,
Right.
and the pantry.
Yeah, you didn't have anything, I think.
Right, so I added whatever you required me to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked at this. I think he addressed
think it looks
everything we
good,
had
yeah.
before.
Hey, Stanley. Yeah, okay, good. Travis, you good?
Yep, agreed. Yep, he
Okay.
did exactly what we said.
Okay, thank you. You're approved.
I'm good?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Have a good
All right.
night.
You too.
Thank you.
That was quick. Okay, so the
Yeah.
They do it right, they get approved easy. Yeah.
yeah. So the second one is 23 Oak Hill Road. That's Tim Leonard. And I know the homeowner was Leahy. I'm not sure if she's going to be on, but Tim Leonard is there, I believe.
Did we put him in the waiting room or is he?
Yes, yeah, I saw him come
Okay.
in, and then
I got it. Yep. Tim Lerner, you said?
Tim Leonard. Mhm.
Yes, Leonard. Okay. You should be coming back in.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Daisy.
Is Miss Leahy gonna be on, or just you?
I was told that Mike might join us.
Yes, I think I see him here. Hold on.
Okay.
Mike L. Could that be him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is there anybody else we're waiting for?
Can we begin, Tim? Is there anyone else?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm ready to go.
Okay, can you share your screen, or do you need us to share?
I'll do it. Hold on a sec.
Okay.
You guys see that?
Yep.
Okay. So, Leahy's live up on Oak Hill off of Kip. You see over here, come up the hill, right around the bend. There's their lot. We got neighbors left, right, and back. They're all over the place over there. So this is actually a really good view of the overall picture of the property. You come up the driveway. We had done this addition for the house about 10 years ago. It was a front entry, living room, dining, bedroom, garage. And so now what they're looking to do is around the back side of the house, kind of where you can see this deck located, that's where they want to build the kitchen. Okay. So this is the view up the front of the driveway, the work we had done years ago. It's got hardy siding on it, AZEK trim, that sort of thing, architectural roof on it. So the area we're looking to build now is over here, visible from one neighbor on the north side and probably the guy on the east side. The deck will be removed completely, and we're going to infill this corner right here. The only effect you're going to see on it from the front is a slight roof line that's going to rise up right about here where my little hand is, and it's going to be in the same plane as this roof line. It's a tiny little hip, and it needed to happen because of the way the geometry was working with the shape of the room. These are the neighbors' houses. 3 of them look like they haven't really been renovated. They're basically just ranches and capes. The house that I mentioned to the north did a pretty major overhaul. It looks like a brand new house, actually. Pretty supersized and overwhelming, but it's up there. So the idea is, site plan wise, is almost similar to the other map. You come up the driveway. The hatched area is the section where we're doing the kitchen. The dotted line there is where the old deck was, where I have a little bit less of a footprint up there as far as that goes. There's also going to be a back entrance into a little mudroom area, and there's going to be a covered porch, a little roof overhang, I should say, right here. So in floor plan wise, the back of the garage is here, and all the hatched walls you see are what's going to be new. We're going to remove the existing kitchen, which is in this little space right in here, to get them a powder room, a walk-in pantry, a nice mudroom in from the garage here, and an eat-in kitchen space with a boxed-out window facing the north over here. And there's your back entrance into kind of the dining area. So from the front of the house, again, this is an extension of the existing roof shingles. They're going to be in the same plane as this. You're really not even going to notice it. And you can't see this from the front, but it is a projection out the side of the house where the dining area wall is, and a little small, like 2.5-foot roof overhang. No change really on this side of the house, the south, other than, again, a minor roof adjustment for the shingles to all connect together. And from the north side, this, where my hand is here, that's the front of the house. You come around the side, this is all garage. This is where that little roof overhang is going to be, covering the sliding door. There'll probably be a patio or something out here so they can use their nice flat yard. The roof line eaves are all going to be the same as what they are right now. There's a long eave that goes along here, and we're going to tie in the same eave and overhang detail as what's on the existing house, with gutters and meters and all that stuff. And that's all going to tie into this roof line you see right here. Little window, this kitchen sink boxes out a little for a nice little decorative detail. Like I said, the siding is hardy plank. Corners and stuff are all going to be AZEK. All the colors will match existing. This is the back view of the house. It's not a true view because it's hard to see all this at the same point, but it's an elevation. And there's the 2 windows that flank the stove. And again, eave line consistently going around the house. It's done in a hip roof shape so that I can shed all this water that's going to collect in this. When you have an L-shaped house, a lot of water comes down this section of the roof. So I had to figure out a way to get all that water out and away from the house. So we did it by utilizing a hip roof, all with very similar pitches to what's on the existing house, the 412 pitch. It's going to all start at 2 points here and here, converge at the top for a small ridge, and then, again, hard to understand two-dimensionally, but the other hips are going to return back in the same plane as what the existing house is. So I'm getting all the water that's going to accumulate up in here out and around to the perimeter of the house. That's it.
What are those on the elevation that's at the bottom of your page? What are those dash lines up
These
on
are
this roof?
lines of the roof beyond that are currently existing. that. So if you look at here, it's like there's an infill roof here that's coming at us.
Right.
Okay. There's a ridge line over here that's going across. So that's all stuff that's beyond, there's a little hip roof that's over this section, but you can't see it from here unless you use dotted lines. But the idea is that this roof plane is going to continue up into that roof plane. So it all blends in nicely together. And that you can see right there.
You have a roof plan? You have a two-dimensional flat roof plan?
No,
All right, next time, can you do that for us?
sure. I have a framing plan if you want to see that. It's on a different drawing now.
No, I mean, I kind of understand what you're doing on the elevations. I just kind of always like to see a roof plan, but it sounds like you've worked things out.
Oh, it's worked out.
Okay.
Ask Tom, we don't build stuff you can't build. We don't draw stuff you can't build.
But you're not one of those architects.
Not one of them.
Okay.
We work
Okay.
it out, baby.
Okay, I'm good. Anybody else have comments?
Yep, I'm good with it.
No, I'm
yeah,
fine.
I think it's a nice little addition.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Thanks, Mike.
Hey, Brendan,
Yeah.
how are you?
Oh, hi. Good, good.
Except your name says for me, Suparna Banji,
Oh, yep. So it does.
Banerjee,
Yeah.
Suparna Banerjee.
Yeah,
Is
my
there a
wife.
story there?
I think my wife was the last one to use the Zoom on the laptop. It must be.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Oh, Daisy, you're on mute.
I wish there was a more exciting story, but that's
Like you're in wherever.
So we have Tavalachi, and I'm not sure if Bob Zumwalt is on. I did see Joe Tavalachi. So they are doing a new house on Whippoorwill Road.
A spec house. I guess it's a spec house.
I'm not sure.
Okay, Joe should be on here.
He's on, but his face is not on.
Yes.
I would think we start getting longer agendas. Business should be good up here now these days.
We already have one for our next meeting.
One.
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 We still have time. September 4th. It's our next meeting.
I remember the days when we had 2 pages of it.
Oh God, we'd go till 10.
I've heard those
10
stories
o'clock.
and I haven't.
Aren't you
done
glad?
that yet. Yeah.
We used to go to 10. We'd have 3 pages sometimes, Bob.
Yeah, no, we had several hours long meetings.
I know. It was, after a while, it's.
Is there any way to
I'm just typing him a chat to see if
he's on?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if can you see the waiting room? Is there anybody else that's in there?
On our screen, I have Carl Romano. Mike Lee, he's still on. He can actually.
Why don't we go to someone else?
Yeah, we can disconnect Mike Leahy.
Okay. Oh, he disconnected himself.
Okay.
Hmm.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, I think I saw movement on Joe Tavalachi's computer.
Hello?
There he is. Hi, Joe.
Hello, good
Okay.
evening. Can you hear me, see me?
We
Can't see you.
No, your video might be out.
You might be just blocking the camera because it says your camera's on. There you
There
Okay,
you are.
hi.
Hello.
So Bob was supposed to be in this meeting to run it, but I'm not sure. I tried calling him and it went straight to voicemail.
Okay.
I don't have the plans with me, unfortunately.
Okay,
Um,
Carrie can pull them up.
Yeah, I can share them. Hold on.
Okay. So yeah, this is a new residence, a spec house. I'm finishing up 400 Whippoorwill now, which we were there for last year. And
Is it
Yeah,
an empty site?
it's,
Oh,
yes,
empty
it's an
lot?
empty, yeah, it's an empty lot. 3.47 acres.
Nice size lot.
Let me
What's the
know.
size of the house?
Say that again?
What's the size of the house, square footage?
It's with the finished basement, it's around 7,400.
Big,
So it's about, I think it's
about
a,
5 something.
yeah, well, 400 was 6,500 square feet with the basement. So this is like another, around another 1,000. We're sticking with the hardy plank siding, gonna do a grayish color with the black Anderson 400 series windows.
Just let me know what screen you'd like me to stay on.
I guess one of the exteriors. Now, Bob, the architect, I believe he did hand in a plan with the garage on the right side. Because of the geography, it made more, well, we come to find out, it makes better sense to come in on the right side. So if you just basically, you would take the house and just flip it.
The whole house, just reverse the whole thing.
Yeah, so the garage would be now on the right side.
Except the rest, everything else is flipped? So in the center?
Right, so this, yeah, everything else would be flipped.
So you're talking about a mirror image, just a complete reversal?
Exactly, right.
Okay.
Oh, you can note that on the drawing somewhere.
Yeah, he did do he did change it. I believe he did submit it as well, because he was gonna bring that up to you guys.
Is
Yeah.
that
Just works-
a,
It works better
is
with
that
the lay
a
of the land.
separate, is that third bay setback a little?
It is set back. We didn't want to create one long span in the
Uh-huh.
front on the same line, so we set that third bay back a little bit.
You have photos of the neighborhood. Is this appropriate size for the neighborhood? Do you have some photographs?
I think he showed us.
Oh, yeah, he did. All right, I'm sorry. Yeah, we did.
Well, you said you're building the one right next to it and that's 400 square feet less or
Ye-
1,000 square feet less? Or something like
Yeah, I
that?
believe it's,
700.
Oh, no, you said it was number 400.
wanna say,
1,000
like,
square
around-
feet less.
800 square feet less, the one that I'm
Uh-huh.
finishing up now, which is in these pictures, the bottom
The
left.
one on the left, yeah.
Bottom left, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. Okay, comments, anybody?
No, as long as, you know, it really is a mirror image.
Can you just have Bob send me a new set of plans, both for Tom and myself on a thumb drive or email to me?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, anybody comments? I'm good.
I'm good with it.
Fine.
It looks
Alright.
appropriate for the neighborhood.
Okay, good
All
luck.
All right, thanks a lot. Have a good night.
Sure, you as
Thank
well.
All
you.
right,
Thanks.
take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye.
We're on a roll. We'll see.
The next one is 108 Pinesbridge Road.
Okay.
The architect is Schneider. I'm not sure who's going to represent this. I believe this is the Ethical Society. He was on earlier.
Robert Burnson, I think.
Yes, this is Carl Romano. I'm also involved in the Ethical Society. Heike Schneider, I believe, was going to be doing the presentation,
Okay, so Robert and Carl?
but yeah, Heike is the one who I believe is going to be presenting. But anyway,
Yes, I'm here.
there she is.
Okay. So, yeah, so I'm Heike Schneider. I'm the architect for the Ethical Society in Ossining on 108 Pinesbridge Road. I sent you plans. I don't know if you're intending on showing the plans or if I should show the plans.
You can
So-
share them.
So basically, the idea is that our society needs a handicapped accessible entrance. It doesn't exist. The building is from 1920 and it was never originally not intended for the use we're using it, but it used to be a residence, a private residence, and it does not have any handicapped access. So we have now searched for the perfect entrance that has the least impact on this old and beautiful building for, what do you think, Carl? 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? It has been a while.
Certainly two.
Right, so I do think we found it. So originally we were also considering a ramp, but we realized it just takes up way too much space and it really destroys the beautiful landscaping and also the front, the rear of the building. So now the entrance, the handicapped entrance that we're proposing is a new foyer, large enough to accommodate a 3-foot door, but also, you know, some easy wheelchair access. And also we needed a wheelchair accessible bathroom. So basically, this is what we did. And we then decided that we would use a lift, an outdoor wheelchair lift instead of a ramp. So the wheelchair lift has a supporting wall, and that supporting wall is also going to be a brick wall. We're going to use brick veneer to match the existing.
Can you share your screen? Can you share your screen or?
Yeah, so shall I share my screen?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Then let's see, here we go.
I see, I started looking through. Do you have photos that you can also share with us?
Yeah, should we start with the photos?
Yes, please.
All right, let me see, where are my photos? Okay, so here is, that's the front right now. But I also have, let's see, where is the other picture? Here. This is a picture of the rear of the entrance. This is how it is right now. That's existing at the bottom.
We're just seeing the front.
You still,
Looks
You
like
need to,
new share, okay.
no,
But it says I'm still sharing, so I'm not sure why you
might
don't.
have to select a different window. Sometimes you have to stop sharing and then make sure you're clicking on the one you want us to see.
Okay. All right, then we'll do it again. Sorry about that. Okay.
the front is beautiful.
So
Indeed.
the problem is, show all windows, here we go. Now oh, here it is, sorry. Okay, all right, do you see it now?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the bottom picture is the rear facade of the building. And this is the only part of the building that we're working on. So I mean, I'm also showing the side just because, you know, it also, yeah, we had plans on also doing some work on the patio. So,
There's
but
nothing
that
like
doesn't,
Nothing like that in the current proposal. So let's just stick to what we're doing.
it is on the, it's on the plans, Carl. So on the plans, we are showing a trellis, which we might be doing, but it really depends on the costs. So that's why I'm showing that building, that part of the,
Are you asking for approval for that now?
excuse me?
Are you asking for approval of that trellis area now?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's all on the plans, which you should have a copy of. So now if you look at the bottom here, this is the existing foyer. The door is 32 inches, so that also needs to change. So basically we are removing the entire foyer. I'm outlining it here. And we are replacing it with a foyer that's about, I think, 9 by 10 feet.
I think, can you now show us your plans? I mean, I have it up, but I'm on a small computer, so it's hard to.
Sure. So I think you have to guide me a little. I mean, for me, an architectural review board is mostly looking at materials and the exterior, or am I wrong?
Can we see the plan so we can understand, you know?
We need the elevations,
Sure. No, of course, no
the
problem.
elevations.
Okay, hold on. So I guess now I have to stop again to get to the next. All right. So the plans are here. All right. So the floor plans are over here. So here is the first floor plan, which is really the plan that changes the most. So where my hand is right now is the new staircase, which takes you up to the landing. The landing is also the place where the wheelchair lift is going to unload. And then from that landing here, you have a new foyer with the 3-foot door, and that one leads you into a small hallway. So we opened up that area. It used to be an office, but we really wanted to make it more of a welcoming area, just because most people are really using the rear entrance, even now. So then here you also see the new ADA compliant bathroom. The exterior facade, we're trying to keep as much within the existing style as possible. So the windows, they don't change. They will be new, just to have, you know, to bring them up to the to code. But the style of the windows is not changing. So yeah, I think that's it in terms of our proposal here. I mean, we're also opening this wall here just to make sure that you really have a continuous access to the whole building, even sitting in a wheelchair.
Can you show us the elevations now, please?
Sure. So this is the rear elevation. We are proposing to use the same kind of roof tiles, which are Spanish clay tiles. Those are going to be used for the new roof as well. The style is pretty much the same as it is right now. It's basically a hip roof, and it's just larger. It's slightly larger. We decided to not go with a brick veneer facade. And that was mainly because a lot of contractors said they're not even sure they would find the same style brick. And it already sounded like it would get very expensive. So we decided, why not use hardy siding instead. So now we're proposing to use hardy siding, which is the color that we're proposing is kind of an off-white. It's called cobblestone. We think it would go really well with the existing red brick. We will keep the red clay roof. We will have a gray door, and the windows are going to stay within the same style, which is like a black frame, and we will have simulated divided lights. So that's really it. Do you have any questions?
What's hiding the lift?
Excuse me?
What kind of wall is hiding the lift?
It's a concrete wall. It's an 8-inch concrete wall, and that wall will have brick veneer. So we will try to at least match it as much as we can, but at least this wall is not right next to the building. It is offset. So if you look at, I mean, we can go back to the floor plan, and then you'll see that this wall really sits about, I want to say 14 feet away from
Yeah.
the building.
Can you go back to the plan, please?
Okay. So here, this is the wall we're talking about.
Mhm.
So if we are going one step further, then you actually, here you see, this is the wall we're talking about.
Mhm.
So up here, you only see the railing, which sits on top of our wall. And you enter the lift from here, and then you exit on the platform right here.
And the reason for the offset stair is because of the gate?
It is. It's also, I mean, we didn't want people to interfere. So I think there is a little, as far as I remember, there's a little gate here, which has to swing open. So the recommendation for that kind of lift is really that you do have, I think it's 30 inches at least in front of the lift. And this is why we decided to shift the stairs over and align it with the foyer on the right side.
I have a question. So you just said that the brick veneer of this wall that's going to hide the lift matches the building, yet
We were
you
trying to.
but yet you don't want to put a brick where you're putting the hardy board because you said it didn't match the building. So I'm just a little confused as to.
Yeah, so but I also said that this wall here is 14 feet away, right?
Uh-huh.
Whereas this wall here,
Is
this
right.
foyer
Mhm.
wall, it butts right up to the brick, the existing brick. So we're really tying into the existing brick. Originally that was our intent. It also got very expensive, and I think part of why it was getting expensive was also that it is a special kind of brick, which almost looks like it has little dimples, and it's lacquered. So it wasn't a brick that you can find in any brickyard right now. So that's also part of it, and I do feel more comfortable using a brick that's at least somewhat similar on a wall that's about 14 feet
Yeah, I
away.
am. Sorry about that. I really got screwed up. Did they already review you, John?
We did, Bob.
Oh, good.
Reviewed and approved.
Your project's approved, Bob.
Project's approved?
No, this is for someone, this was
Oh,
for the
sorry.
previous submission.
My apologies. I'm a Bob too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, maybe he's muted. Could you go back to the photograph of the existing rear foyer?
Yeah.
Do I just need to give her the elevation?
Can you see it, or should I stop first? Can you,
No, I can see it.
okay.
So here the stair is centered on the door, but the whole stair is offset. Right?
Yes, yeah.
But then now you're centering, are you centering the door on the new plan?
I have to go back and look at
The door is centered, yes.
Is
We
there
can
any
go back.
reason? Yeah, go back, yeah. I mean, it kind of bothers me that you're walking up an offset stair to a centered door where the previous one kind of made sense because the door and the stair were off center.
I don't think I redrew the whole thing.
So part of the reason also is that this door, the second door that really leads into the building, this
Right.
one is existing. It
Okay.
does not, I mean, right now it's not 36 inches,
Mhm.
but we are not able to really move that door further over.
Right.
So basically this door here is aligned with the door in the foyer. And so that's why I decided, we should have a center door. So because I agree, either it's all the way to the right or you center it on the stairwell, but it really was determined by where the existing door is in the building and how we could use it on the inside, on the interior.
Right. So, I mean, have you looked at centering the stair on the door then? And relocating the lift in a way that the opening of the lift won't interfere with somebody on the top porch? I mean, because I think your elevation bothers me that you've got this somewhat grand stair that everybody's going to be using, and you've got this kind of addition jutting out, but then you're coming to it off center, and it's kind of obvious to me why you did it is because there's a gate at the lift, and you have to get off of it. So let's go to the elevation that you have. The
Sure.
architectural elevation.
I would also like to point out that this is the rear entrance, right? You know
Yeah, but
that this
everybody
down
uses
here is the front.
But you said everybody uses this. So it's a question of in keeping with the symmetry of the front also that we're concerned about.
So, I mean, in my opinion, I think it's much more important where the door is when you're approaching, because you see the door. You see that the whole foyer is actually
Yeah, you have a beautiful
centered on the door,
You have a beautiful symmetrical composition.
right?
For some reason, you're building a new stair, but it's offset from all of that. It doesn't make any sense to me.
This is Tom. Can I interrupt, please? That door, I believe, needs to open to the exterior, not being an in-swing door, being the use
Excuse
of
me,
this
I
building.
can barely hear you. Can you speak a little louder?
The door you show is as an in-swing door. The use of this building will dictate that this door be an out-swing door for egress from the building. You're showing it as an in-swing, that might play into the staircase and where you locate it.
Yes, it is an in-swing door.
Yes, it should be an out-swing door.
Did you say it should be or it could be? I
Said
don't hear it.
Should be an out-swing door.
For
in-
egress
in
purposes.
An assembly situation where the people need to escape the building to a public way.
Sure.
So
But-
that may
but-
play into your opening onto that staircase. You may wish to slide the door over and center it on the staircase so that the door opens out and doesn't conflict with the handicap elevator.
Right. Or the other option is to make the stair wider and relocate the lift further towards the building. So when you exit the lift, you're not getting in the way of that door swinging out. I mean, I just think, so part of the thing is the building has a certain symmetry on the front. It's got a composition on the rear, and you're building a brand new vestibule addition with a nice symmetry, but then all of a sudden you have this grand stair that you're building, and it's offset, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
If I may interject, this is Carl Romano. I've been involved with this planning. As Heike pointed out, the internal door must stay where it is.
I'm not arguing with
The-
that. I'm saying
And people,
again,
but there's a reason why I bring it up, is because there are wheelchairs and handicapped people going in here. And so the aesthetic concerns are important, but the functional concerns, making this accessible and safe for our elderly members and visitors in wheelchairs is really needs to be part of the calculus here. So if we're going to have the internal door offset from the external door, and there's a very narrow foyer in there, I think that's going to be a little bit tricky and possibly even dangerous, right? So I think that the compromise that Heike is suggesting here is really not a bad one. And I just wanted us to bear in mind that this is not a decorative change in this building. This is a change to make the building ADA compliant and more welcoming. We have an aging membership. We have members over 100, and the average age is probably 70, if not older than that. And we really need it to be accommodating and welcoming to those people.
and I absolutely don't disagree with you.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I'm not saying making it less functional. You can still access the lift. You can still position the lift in a way that you get onto a larger porch. Your door can swing out and you'll still have a centered new stair. I mean, you're building it anyway. I'm not, it's not like any of this exists.
Can you go back to the plan for a minute, the overhead plan?
Excuse me?
Can you please go back and show the plan, the overhead plan?
Yes, I can. I would also make one comment here. I mean, you calling it a grand stair. The idea was not to create a grand stair. It was supposed to be a functional stair. The Ethical Society has a very limited budget. And if we had more funds, we would have done it completely differently. So, I mean, everything that's suggested here says to me that we have to enlarge the stairs, we have to move out our lift. That is all extra costs. I don't know if you're aware of that. So I don't know, where is the fine line between making suggestions that, of things that you feel are not perfect, and where does the budget come into play? Because
Stanley, is that what you're suggesting, is to push it out to the right so that you've got the full stairway and then you've got the lift next to it instead of squeezing it in?
Let's go to the plan.
Because I think that's it. If you look at the plan where the lift is, if it was pushed out to the left so that you could build a full staircase and still have a landing for the lift, then it would be more ceremonial and more harmonious.
Or the staircase could be the same width, but it's centered on the door and the lift moves over closely. I can't tell where you enter the lift and where you exit the lift.
You do have room to pull out the lift, right? If that lift moved, 3 or 4 feet out to the left and you had...
It could move out 2 feet. If you shift the main stair, same width over, centered on the door, then you only have to move that lift that much further.
And then the railing is going to hit the window, or how do you suggest we do that?
You keep the porch the same width that you have it, and the stair is centered on the door. I mean, I'm not designing it for you. What's bothering me is the asymmetry of the language of the building that you're bringing into this. I mean, it made sense when the door was following the stair, but it doesn't make sense here. And we're not designing it for you, but we need to bring what you're proposing in harmony with the rest of the building, and I don't think it is. That's just my opinion.
Plus, if that door from a life safety perspective starts to swing out, you've got some conflicts, I think, that you're creating with the accessibility and the stairwell and everything.
You can swing it the other way. That's not, I don't see the issue. And
you might need a bigger landing because you're not leaving.
So basically what we're talking, I mean, I just
cutting off half
right?
the stair if you swing it out the other way.
We have a very limited budget. So this is all member funded and it's not a rich membership. So this was really something that it took us a while to get approved. So now everything you're suggesting calls for more money. Because
Well,
this was,
from a life safety standpoint, if that door has to swing out, we're not. I mean, that's something that you have to do to begin with.
well, it can swing out. It can swing out to the right, and there's no problem.
But then you're taking away half your egress with those stairs, your egress width.
You can't have somebody standing on the landing and get hit in the face with the door. You need a bigger landing.
So, I mean, I will need to look into the code, because I actually do think we could be allowed to go inward, because this is one flow inside, and it really, here the issue is it's handicapped, and we also need to clear the landing for the wheelchair. So this is not a commercial exit. This is just for wheelchair access, and I'm not entirely sure you're right that we need to swing it outside. I mean, I'm happy to check the code again, but I do think we can go inside.
I mean,
So
it looks like it's your second means of egress from that floor.
Excuse me?
It looks like it's your second means of egress from that floor.
Unless your occupancy is like 4 or 5, I don't think you can get away with having one door egress.
No, there's a large front door.
Right.
Okay, we have one going out this way. So I guess, I mean, if we can't get,
There's also egress through the patio, through the meeting room onto the patio.
you could do this one too. Yes,
That's
that's
not-
actually a door as well. Yeah.
So you need to get to grade. You can't
What's
get
the
to grade.
certificate of occupancy for? It's not
Oh, you can get
residential.
to that- oh, those
What's it
steps.
classified as?
Please repeat that question.
No, I was just, Tom, what's this classified as under its certificate of occupancy? That'll tell you.
I don't have that information readily available, but it's going to be an assembly grouping. So that means there's going to be 2 points of egress that are going to be needed, minimum. And the doors will be swinging out. The egress through the terrace needs to go directly to a public way. It may not be able to go onto a terrace, depending how the terrace is constructed.
The terrace is existing. It's there.
I understand that, and based on your alterations, level 2, probably this is going to fall under, you're obligated to do a certain amount of handicap ADA requirements. The bathroom is 1, and the egress out is 2nd. You can't make something more non-conforming. You have to make it more conforming. So the door would have to swing out. You may have to remove the interior door simultaneously, because now you're working in that location. The interior door may not be able to stay. But like you said, we have to go back to the code and check all the details on this. And there may also be a requirement for your landing to be as wide as it is to be as long. So if you're 6 feet wide or 8 feet wide, you may need to be 8 feet long.
Mhm.
We need to go back and check the codes on this. So that might force you to have a bigger staircase.
Yeah, and check with the overlap of the door clearances of the front door when it swings out and the gate of the lift. I'm pretty
So
sure
if-
has clearance needs also.
Right. So if this is the issue, I mean, we can make this deeper to make sure that we have the 3-foot clearance here, and then we can swing it towards the right. So because you don't want to swing it towards the left, because that would really hit the gate that you have here. The people that are coming off the lift.
Understood.
So you could only swing it to the right, which actually means that the railing has to stay where it is. So I would really prefer to just have a minimal entrance, because this is all stone and this is masonry work. So yes, we could make this staircase grander, although
Forget the word grand, just make it centered on the door. Make sure your door clearances work and don't overlap if they're not allowed to overlap. And you might have to shift the lift anyway when you swing the door out.
Okay, I just personally, I don't think it's nice to have a railing that lands right in the window. So that would be my
What if-
concern.
I'm not designing it for you, but what if you just shift the stair over and leave the upper patio, the upper landing the same? So it doesn't follow the line of the upper patio, or the upper landing, it's actually centered on the door. Just take that stair that you have there and just shift the stair over. So you're not making a grander stair, it's as wide as it is now, and you're shifting it so it's centered on the door.
All right. No, I mean, if that would satisfy you, then sure, we can do that. We're
And then you
gonna
have
have
to need
extra
code.
railing, but yes.
And you have to need code with everything else, with the lift. I can't tell where you're coming in with the lift. You know, I don't know if your door clearances for the lift and the front door are allowed to overlap, but you should check that.
So here is on the side here, on the right-hand side, you see the kind of lift that we're installing. So the wall that I'm referring to is basically this piece here in the back. So I think it's pretty clear of how the lift works. It's a very simple lift that just brings people up.
Right,
and
but there's
down.
there's a gate at the top.
But I mean, we're kind of getting in the weeds, I think. I mean, does the lift work if there's a fire? Does it shut down? Do you need an area of refuge? I mean, we're getting, I really think this needs to be thought through a little bit more.
Excuse me, but have you seen it in the city? It's everywhere. I don't know where the issue is here right now, because of course you can get outside.
Okay, what if somebody's in a wheelchair and they're blocking that egress right there, and then there's like 4 or 5 other people trying to get out of a burning building and the lift's not working properly?
Excuse me, but I mean, unless you
You
can
should
quote
have
the
an answer
code,
for that.
unless you can quote the code and tell me right now that
I don't have the code book
I
in
don't
front of
think-
me. That's not my job.
But this is not a valid comment, because it is not in the code that there is no reference that this is an issue. Okay, I mean, somebody could also be carried down. We're talking about 5 steps. So, I mean, I don't know, are we creating some extra problems here? I'm just not sure what the intent is. I mean, we're trying to make this building handicapped accessible and to keep it within a certain budget. And all I'm hearing is, you know, kind of more or less aesthetic issues. I mean, the outswing doors, yes.
Life safety is not an aesthetic issue to me.
The outswing doors, that's a, yes, we will do that. That's no issue. But
Travis, what are you driving at? She's not putting a ramp in there, so.
Well, I'm just, and this is just a scenario. If you're on that landing with a wheelchair, do you have to have an area of refuge so other people can get by you? I don't know. I mean, I've done that in other buildings before, commercial buildings.
Usually there's a rule
So-
of how many square feet you have to have, and there's got to be a certain radius. I don't
Yeah,
know what
but
it is, but
and that area of refuge could make that landing even bigger.
so this is not a commercial building. The building itself is still a residence. So I don't see the issue, and you do have, this is,
okay.
There is space for it, for people to sit if needed.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not. I didn't think that this was still a residence.
Well, it is. It
but
is.
it's a place of assembly, so it's.
But I think Tom said it, yeah, it was a place of assembly, so it follows, it could possibly follow different guidelines.
So as far as I know, we are limited to a certain amount of people, which is I believe it's 50 in our meeting room, below 50. And it is still considered a residence. So I don't, yeah, that's why I do
Maybe
think
you
we
could
fall
work
under
with
the
Tom,
residential.
maybe, not now, but maybe you guys can work together and understand what the rules are based on a certificate of occupancy. Does the door have to swing out or not? Do you need a certain dimension on the landing or not? And those things you can work out. And then for our group, I guess the question is, do we want to slide over the stair in the center? Is there any other aesthetic comments that we we want to give. I'll trust Tom to look at the codes. So it sounds
Nothing from me.
Sounds like Stanley's suggestion, which I think would be nice, is leave the landing the way it is, provided it meets code and its dimension, and just take the stair portion, slide it over so it's centered. Is that what you're looking for, Stanley?
Yeah, that's
Alright.
my suggestion. If anybody wants to object, they can on the board.
Yeah, I think that
No,
would be,
I think that's a good suggestion.
I think that's a good suggestion too. So are you willing to do that? And then maybe you and Tom can talk offline, tomorrow or the next day or something, and just make sure you're in sync and that the
Sure.
codes are taken care of.
Yes. Yeah, we'll do that. We center the staircase. We'll make sure that the landing is deep enough so we can swing the door out, and which probably moves the lift over.
Doesn't have to,
Which
but
means-
maybe it does.
Which means, because we still need that clearance here. We'll still need the access and the safety zone here. So, all right. Yes, we'll do that.
Work out those details, make sure the gate, if there's a gate on the lift, that it doesn't block the stairs, etc.
Yes.
So I'm going to add her to the September 2nd agenda.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, I mean, given that we follow all of your guidelines, is there a way for us to send you the revised plans faster? Because the thing is, this
We
is
meet
also,
every 2 weeks. It won't slow down your schedule. I don't think you'll have a building permit.
excuse me?
I don't think that'll hurt your schedule, Tom. Will that? Would she have a building permit anyway in 2 weeks?
We're 3 to 4 weeks on building permit issuance, so we have plenty of time to come back again while we concurrently review this.
Okay. All right, fine. Then that's what we'll do. When is submission for the next ARE? Should we-
It will be the Friday before the 2nd, which is, let's see. It'll be the 26th. So I'll need the revised plans on the 26th on a thumb drive, or you can email it to me and I can send it to the board so that they'll see it before the meeting.
Okay. All right, good, we'll do that.
Okay,
Okay.
Thank you.
have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Very
night.
much.
Okay.
Robert, you can, yeah, okay. So we have 27 Overlook Drive. I'm not sure who's here for that. Is it her name?
Hi, hello. It's her nanny. How are you?
Her nanny. And is Marcy and Susan a part of that as well?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Susan and Marcy, are they a part of the application?
I don't know who Susan is. You may have a different name there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're talking about
For the application, will it be just
the
you?
owners? Yeah, just me. The owner I have on standby on the landline if I need him.
Oh, okay. All right. So do you want to share your screen?
Sure.
Okay.
Hi, can you hear me? This is Susan.
Hi, Susan. Yes, we can hear you.
I am here for the Ethical Society of Northern Westchester's review. When will that be?
That just finished.
Why was I not asked to enter the meeting room? I've been on hold this entire time.
We presented the who was going to be on. You were not mentioned. We had Robert, and I believe.
Well, all right. I'm glad they're calling me now. Bye-bye.
Okay. Hernani, is there
Yep.
anyone else for your application besides you?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Give me 1 second. Make sure, am I sharing the right screen here? It's just, it doesn't show me a preview of what I'm sharing. Can you tell me what you see on your screen there?
Right now, we see the cover.
Really, you should.
Page 1 of 9 of your drawings.
Perfect, thank you. So I'm here to to propose an addition to 27 Overlook Road in Chappaqua. What the owner is proposing to do is make the building a little bit more symmetrical from a roof standpoint. The house has been abandoned for some time now, has a lot of damage to it. I could show you a few photos to start off. Here's the existing front elevation. Here's the side. You could see there's growth all over the exterior. Paint is peeling off. This property has been in neglect for some time now. So what we're trying to do here is put an addition on the second floor that will help even out the roof line. So if you look at it from the side elevation here, you have a nice gable here, and this is called a salt shed roof. I'm sure you've seen these before. And we're just going to raise the plate height over here to bring it to the same plate height as in the back, as in the rear. And it'll take us to, this is the same elevation we were just looking at, the left side of the house. So we're just raising the plate height here on the main house. And then over the garage, we're adding 4 feet to the plate height, because right now there's an existing room over the garage, but the ceiling height's a little low, and we'd like to make it usable and add it to the house. So just an additional 4 feet, and we'll have the room as you see here in the section, not the entire width of the garage, but the center portion of it. As far as the finishes, the owner is proposing to use, let me get that up.
Are you reskinning the whole house?
Yep, he's reskinning the whole house. He's going to use this Mybeck Seacoast Color natural wood shingles. They already come pre-colored from the manufacturer, so there's going to be consistency throughout. He used the same exact shingle on a previous project. Let me show you that.
Is the owner a builder? Is this being done by a builder?
He's a small builder in the sense that he does one house at a time. He doesn't do, 5, 6 houses at the same time. He concentrates on one project at a time. Okay. This was a tear down rebuild he did in Purchase, and that was a complete tear down. And this is the same shingle that he used on this project. He wants to use on the project we're proposing here tonight. And that's this shingle here. It looks fantastic in person. Not too many people go with the natural wood anymore. And that's the gist of the big things that pop out at you. Some of the smaller changes, we want to change the portico to make it a little bit more modern. We're going to put a copper roof over the portico. Excuse me, I'm sorry, it keeps on shifting. We want to put a copper roof and extend it out to the dimensions of the platform. Over the garage in the front, we're going to put a little shed roof so we can allow some light from this side of the house. We put some larger windows on the other side over the garage. Let me bring that up right here, a double window. So we have some light coming in from 2 sides of the house.
Is there a reason you have buttons on some windows and some blank? Is that intentional or just not drawn properly?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Some of the windows have buttons, the grills. Some of them don't.
No, this is existing. I believe it is existing. Give me one second.
I'm looking at the back elevation. It looks like.
Let me just take a look at the existing. Yeah, see, they're all existing. And if those can be taken off, we're going to take them off because we wanted to make it look symmetrical throughout. But we want to keep everything the same in the rear with the exception of these little details. And I was going to get to that in a minute.
Are you replacing the windows or keeping them?
We're keeping the windows in the rear. We're replacing the windows on the upper floor in the front. Let me one sec. Here we go. So these windows are obviously being replaced because we're raising the roof. We're adding a window above the portico to let some natural light into the stairwell area. These windows are existing to remain. And this is a window that he's going to make slightly larger. It's a little office room with a tiny window in it. It doesn't look right now. We're making it a little larger.
Okay. Are you putting grills on the new windows like the rest of the windows in the house?
again, we're going to try to remove those grills, those buttons. We're going to try and take them out if possible. If not, we can get those are like an aftermarket. You can not aftermarket, but
Oh.
they come from Anderson, and you clip them right in if we want to put them on. And of course, we're going to want to make them look symmetrical. But for now, I'm just showing it as it is to what's proposed. And those grills can be added on. If we could take these off, we're going to match to take them off. If we can't take them off, we're going to add them on to match throughout the house.
What is the shape of that copper roof?
It's kind of a slope. So here you have the front, here's a slope, and the side view. You see it right there, kind of going off on a slope. I got another picture of something like that, what he just did on the house that he built just before this one, which is right here. See, here's the roof. Wonder if I could zoom in. That's what he did on the house that he built just before this one. He's going to do the same thing on this house, the copper standing seam roof.
Okay, so it's because I couldn't tell what you were doing. So it looks like
Yeah.
standing. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about that one. I mean, the shape works on this house. I think it looks a little odd on your proposed house, and especially since you're adding shed roofs elsewhere. Like I think a shed would work better on. It would be referential to that what you're showing over there, right? And
Yeah, but from the side, that'll look about right from the front, but from the side it'll look a little odd. We were thinking of giving it a little bit of a focal point on the entry, trying to make that pop.
The columns on the entry look a little thin on the elevation. It's hard to tell because there's a lot of detail in the background, so I'm having a hard time separating the two. And it looks like there's detail in the column. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's 6 inches. There's no detail on the column. There's just going to be straight square
They're just
columns.
straight. They don't look straight on the plan.
Yeah, this
on
is
the elevation.
I have to excuse that.
Do you see what
this
I'm
is the CAD
talking about?
drawing.
It looks like
Yep.
it tapers in.
It is on the drawing. It is. That's an error. That's probably a carryover from the existing. I apologize
Okay.
about that. It's going to be straight.
And the eave board looks quite thick on that. I mean, to me, I mean, just it looks like a kitchen hood from here. I'm not picturing it. I can see it on the photograph of his other project, and it looks nice and elegant there. But it looks odd here. And knowing that how far does it sticks out? Like 8 feet, 6 feet?
It's kind of got a Tudor feel to it.
I think it's because of the width. The width is it seems narrow, and that's why it does look a little like a kitchen stove hood.
It's height to width is. Yeah.
The width to the height to the slope, I think, is what's.
yeah, well, and the fancy curved side. I mean, like we were saying, it looks like a colonial or French style thing, and you've got this modern barn look going on elsewhere. I mean,
Yeah, I'm looking for the elevation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
let
I
me get you-
looked at the,
Oh,
me
yeah,
get you
even
a
on the
photo.
elevation, it looks a little out of place on the left side elevation.
Trying to get you a photo of kind of what it would look like. It looked like something like this guy here. This is a little smaller, but that's about the same feel. If you want to get a picture version of it as opposed to a draft.
go back to the your drawing.
Sure.
There you've got the columns almost at the corners here, you know.
Yeah, we could tighten that in if you want. Usually I add a 10 to 12 inch overhang. So, for the rain, I don't make it as flush. But I mean, if you have a problem with, if that's going to be a point of discussion, then we can fix that right away.
I mean, I think it looks more elegant when you have it like his previous project where it's on, I think they were on brackets of some sort rather than.
Yeah, that was an overhang, like a freestanding. I'll bring that one back up if you'd like.
And this is
That
too
one.
deep to do that. Oh, I see.
This thing.
Yeah, this was a huge platform here,
Right.
and it looked
Mhm.
right for that platform.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this has the depth that the one that he's doing.
No, no.
And again, if you want to take a look at what's there existing, I can bring that up too. I mean, this Zoom is wonderful for this kind of stuff, like instant photos. This is great. So, and that's what's there existing now.
Oh, I see.
And that's where that you see the carryover that came in the drafting. I
Mhm.
apologize about that.
Mhm.
This will
Yeah,
be
yeah.
straight columns.
Well, and also these look very thin, especially for that
Yeah.
roof.
As you can see, this guy, he does a lot of the architectural features. He handpicks, him and his wife handpick.
Mm-hmm.
So they do a lot of detailed work, and they're always, sorry, I keep on bringing up that CAD drawing here. For example, the one they did in Purchase, this is scalloped. These were shingles. Like, you know, they picked out every little thing, the stepping that they have in the framing around the windows and the soffits. They were very detailed about that stuff. They get into it. They enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a husband and wife team. The husband really builds it all, and then the wife comes in and she helps out with the details as well. But in this case, because we have to go in front of Architectural Review Board, luckily this project isn't too involved, and this is not a good view probably on your end. It looks good on my end with the colors, but you probably prefer the black and white.
So
Probably
the
transfer.
overall height is not changing, correct?
The overall height is not. The ridge height is the same. We're just
Okay.
changing the plate height in the front and
Right.
over the garage.
Uh-huh.
So the ridge height is changing on the garage. That's going up a little bit. But the ridge height is not changing overall on the house. And I even
Did I
put
miss
here,
the?
I even put here the existing dormer location so you could see how much it's changing. The ridge is the same ridge. The dormers are down here. We just bring them up a little bit.
Did we see existing photos or
Yep.
like neighbors,
Mhm.
like of
I could bring that up.
neighborhood houses and stuff?
Yeah,
I'd
here
like
we
to
go.
see kind of the neighborhood. Yeah, there you go.
Sure. So right next door, this is a subject property we're talking about now. You should have this in your packet, by the way. So if you want to look at I don't know if it comes out grainy on your end. I'm looking at my screen, but if you have the PDF, you can probably see a better
Yeah, I'm
view.
looking at the package.
So here's the house next door to the left. This is the house next door to the right.
No, they're beautiful houses on that block there. It's
Yeah.
very well maintained. It's
Yep. And this is kind of like the ugly duckling in the neighborhood.
mhm.
And then we have the house across the street. And then, well, this one's diagonally across the street. This one's directly across the street. And we have the one diagonally across the street and to the right if you're standing in front of our property. And let me zoom out so you can see the relationship. And again, you should have a PDF of this. And here's the existing with the proposed elevation right there.
Mm-hmm.
The scale's appropriate.
Mhm.
So back to that copper roof. Did you just drew that just because they wanted a copper roof, but did you really study the proportions? It seems taller than it should be for the scale, the width of it, and the scale of it.
The height of it is going to be about the same, a little bit taller than the gable point here. If you want to know the exact height, again, fortunately, because I have CAD with me.
Mm-hmm. No, I just proportionally. It doesn't matter what the dimension is. It just I guess what bothers me is you have siding going across that whole facade and then just a punched opening with a door. So you're trying to make a bigger statement with the copper roof, but then beyond that, you just have a door and a wall. You know, there's no side lights.
Yeah, we
Trim
looked
around
at.
that.
I think he looked
Yeah,
at the
I
side lights.
kind of feel like they fell in love with this roof and just
Right. So I feel like
pushed it in without designing around it and for it.
So the side lights become a problem. If you could see here, there's
Yeah.
a wall here. The side lights become a problem there. And we wouldn't be against it, but sorry, that's the second floor.
upstairs,
Whoops,
yeah.
sorry. First floor.
It's not a problem there.
There you go.
No,
We
side
could
light.
probably squeeze it in. Let me see.
You could do 8-inch, 10-inch side lights.
Let me measure that exactly, make sure.
Well, I mean, the dimension's not the point. The point is you're trying to make a grander entrance by doing this copper roof. But what's below that roof is really kind of minuscule. I think you have to trim it out. I think you have to make a bigger statement with that. And I think you need to revisit the proportion of that roof. The height of it seems a little tall to me, and it does start to look French chateau-y with that proportion.
Mhm. And it certainly doesn't help with these columns, the previous columns that you had.
Right, and it would help us if
I
you
mean, that
drew it.
really hurts it, I think.
Yeah, what you really intend to should be drawn, not just, you know, somebody drew what was there by accident.
Okay. Well, the addition of side lights, I don't think my client would be against at all. He was,
Right,
he
I
was
mean,
going
but
back and forth with that.
You know, we can't tell you what to put there, but just make you know, you're trying to make a grand entrance, make the details of the door match that idea.
Mm.
The posts should be what you want them to be. If they're just pure square posts and just draw them, we might not like them. You know, draw the eave details for that copper roof. I personally would look at the proportion of the height. I think it's too tall. You know, but other than that, I mean, I'm glad you're rescuing the house.
Well, the owner right now is been sitting on the house for about a month now, month and a half, and he's, as time goes on, he's paying interest, he's paying taxes and everything else, and I think he's looking to seek approvals as soon as possible, because this isn't one of the easier builds. This is because he's keeping the house, unlike the other ones which were tear down rebuilds. Those were pretty much like cash deals where he just had to buy the property, you know.
But I think Tom had said that it's still going to take, you know, a few weeks to get approvals. So if you submit with all the changes at the next meeting, then you should still be on schedule in terms of getting approvals, because approvals aren't done immediately by the building department. So
say that again. One
Do
last
you want
time.
them to come back? As I was saying, do you want them to come back to us?
You
I
don't-
think so, yeah.
Do you not have enough here to just put a conditional, put side lights and that's it? I mean, does it really matter? Is it going to make a difference much on the elevation if we're moving this down 6 inches, shortening it up 8 inches or 10 inches? Generally, it's going to be the same aesthetic feel with the exception of the side lights. The side lights will certainly make a difference here. And I have no problem with adding the side lights. And I'm sure the owner wouldn't have a problem with adding side lights if that's the only thing we're hung up on here as far as the biggest impact.
I'd like to see a note somewhere that says either everywhere gets muttons or none of them get muttons, so it's not a patchwork.
Well, of course he wants to make everything match, and he doesn't want to change all the windows. So the windows that we're buying can take the muttons.
Okay, so I just want to see a note that says that you'll do all or none. Maybe the choice is you.
If you give me 1 second, I can find out from the owner if he tried to take the muttons off in the last week or two that he was there. If you give me a second to confer with him.
But Stanley, do you feel comfortable just seeing notes?
I don't think a change like that can be done in a note.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see the plan, but Tom, didn't you say that he wasn't going to get a permit anyway for 3 weeks or something? 3 or 4 weeks?
We're 3 to 4 weeks out with issuing a permit. So yes, we have time.
So if we see him in 2 weeks,
Not gonna
September 2nd.
Okay, I just spoke to the owner. He says those muttons do come out. So he verified it. So there you go. That's what it looks like.
All right, just want that to be consistent. I mean,
No, you're right. You're right. And that was the goal. And he did look into it.
I'm surprised you're saving windows actually, because the house is so shut, but at least make it look like a new house when you're done. You know, be consistent everywhere.
There you go.
Sounds like it sounds like this board wants to see you come back, you know, with the front portico, you know. It's not going to hurt your schedule. You're not going to get a building permit in 2 weeks anyway. So if you could please come back to us in 2 weeks, show us that, you'll get approval, your application's in.
Okay.
We appreciate that.
Okay.
And you'll be in and out quickly probably, you know, so just show us the front entrance again and listen to some of the comments and see if you can make a few adjustments and make sure the drawing is clear in terms of the columns or anything else.
Okay. So for the next meeting, I have the following comments to address. The portico with exacting dimensions, with the columns, side lights on the front door, and remove the grills from all the windows.
No, we're not saying that that's a suggestion. We want you to make the entrance as strong as I think you're trying to make it. It looks too weak now as a front door stuck in the middle of siding. So whether that means a transom, side lights, different columns, different height of the portico, it means really look at what you're drawing there and show us what you mean it to look like.
Okay.
Or what the owner wants.
Right.
All right, you're automatically on in 2 weeks, so we'll look forward to seeing you then. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a great night.
You too.
Good night.
Night.
Okay. So we had that woman Susan on the line who was for the Ethical Society. Carrie, did she leave completely?
Yeah, she's not there anymore.
Okay.
Again, we offer, you know, we asked who was with them.
Yeah, they didn't say, they said they were all there, I think.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry?
We have any more applicants?
No, that's it. That was the last one, 27 Overlook.
Okay.
Okay, so
all right.
we'll see you September 2nd. Have a good night.
All right.
Night.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. See you tomorrow, Tom.
Bye.